Ladies and gentlemen, and this is Rimworld Review, Deep Space Organ Harvesting by the channel ssethtzeentach, re-reaction I guess. Now before somebody has an aneurysm here, I'm not going to rewatch every single ssethtzeentach videos, right? Ssethtzeentach is literally the first channel that I reacted to about game reviews, right? I've never watched a game review because I didn't know something like this existed before I watched ssethtzeentach video. I always thought reviews is just going to be one of those IGN type of things, right? They're going to talk about the game, they're going to talk about pros and cons. Like, I don't need to hear that shit. I didn't know some creative content like this existed. So, you know, this Rimworld, Dwarf Fortress, Space Station 30, these are one of the earliest, you know, ssethtzeentach reviews that I reacted to. And afterwards, you know, I found out Maxer channel, Mandalore Gaming, you know, Martin, all these different review channels. And I reacted to so many videos like, you know, from the Seth and all these other channels that I came to appreciate how good this Space Station 13, Dwarf Fortress, Rimworld, right, Factorio, this type of games are. And I'm a gamer, sure, but not gamer for games like this. I never gave a thought to game like this. Like if you told me, you know, 6 months ago, a year ago, that, you know, I'm gonna even think about playing games like this, which, you know, some pixels moving around. Like get the fuck out of there. That would never happen in a million years, right? But after watching ssethtzeentach videos and seeing how ridiculously detailed these games are, right? I'm definitely going to play almost all of this. Dwarf Fortress, Rimworld, all of this. Like that's a massive 180, you know, for me when it comes to games. So I'm, you know, re-reacting to this because I don't remember much from this. And this was one of the earliest reviews where I was like, you know, surprised like, okay, these games are ridiculously awesome. And then I reacted to so many other videos that I kind of have a perspective like, you know, what type of games these are, right? So I want to re-react to this just to see how ridiculously good these are, right? I don't know which video I saw from Mandalore, right? I think it was Space Station 13. I watched Space Station 13 video from Mandalore after, you know, reacting to all this video, and I saw that and like, holy shit, this is really good. And I watched Space Station 13 video from Seth, but it was one of the early videos and I don't remember much from that. So that's why I'm re-reacting to this, I guess. So let's watch it. Rimworld is also one of those games, you know, just randomly generated script type of thing where you can do ridiculous stuff, right? I mean, the stuff that you wouldn't even think of. If somebody plays AAA games their whole life and seen some ridiculous, you know, things in AAA games, that doesn't even come close to games like this. So let's watch this one.
Hey people, Seth here. Today, I'll be reviewing Rimworld, because it hit 1.0 recently and it's pretty fucking great. It's made by a few people in Montreal, China, including this guy, who wants you to buy his book. Rimworld is a sci-fi colony simulation game, which includes but is not limited to forceful organ harvesting, cannibalism, catching carcinomas from breathing in toxic fallout, and cargo pods falling from the sky directly on your favorite animal. Rimworld.
There you go, there you go. All this, every single dollar is worth it. That just first 20 seconds is enough.
World's got it all. It's very similar in the vein of Dwarf Fortress. You generate a planet, you choose some appropriate colonists, which could either be useful members of society possessing skills that will improve your chances of survival, or mentally challenged apes who can't actually contribute anything meaningful to your colony besides being a walking, breathing, shitting sack of human meat. And then once you've chosen them, you crash land on a location of your choice. The location of your choice could be a reasonable one, like a forest with appropriate vegetation in close proximity to friendly colonies, or you could land in the middle of Malaria Town. Or maybe you'd like to spice things up and crash in a sub-zero ice sheet or a scorching hot desert with no resources. Why would you ever possibly do that? Because it's fun. Your ultimate goal? Get yourself a working...
I don't know why my thought is, oh, this is a good graphics game, because I'm expecting pixelated things from Dwarf Fortress, something like that. I seriously don't remember, you know, watching this review. I don't know. It's been 3 months or something that I, you know, reacted to Rimworld the first time. I remember.
ship and get the fuck off this planet. But surviving that long and managing the combined autism of multiple colonists who think beating the shit out of each other just prior to a pirate raid is a good idea will make that exceedingly difficult. When starting a new game, Rimworld asks you to choose from a selection of 3 different AI storytellers. These influence the event and the frequency at which they occur as part of your colony's story. In no particular order, they are Cassandra Classic, who will progressively increase the challenge your colony experiences by sending a pack of alpha beavers to eat all your trees 5 times in a row. There's also Phoebe Chillax, who suffers from bipolar disorder. She does absolutely nothing for several months, making you question whether or not the game is broken. Then she'll send 2 hordes of pirates with sappers who will dig for your defenses while all of your colonists simultaneously catch intestinal parasites from not wearing appropriate protection when eating ass. And then there's Randy Random. Randy doesn't hide the fact that he's out for your blood and doesn't actually give a shit what happens to your colony. Events will happen, good or bad, but they'll happen consistently. Randy has previously sent raids, crashed mechanoid ships containing toxic waste, and started a volcanic winter, all in the span of a single afternoon.
I like how this is like, the story about Mongolians, right? How they thrown dead bodies to, I guess cities, inside the city walls, catapulted dead bodies that had plagues in them. This is similar to that, like, throw the fucking ship with the toxic, waste in it. I like how in Rimworld there are story arcs, basically. It's not some script that if you combine makes a ridiculous story like how it happens in Dwarf Fortress. The drowning, that was some ridiculous event that happened to Seth, right? But I bet that's not a rarity. Something like that happens constantly in Dwarf Fortress, I guess. Like somebody's going, so decomposing body made somebody go berserk. So some kid drowned, mother went berserk. It's just, that was fucking ridiculous. But in this one, I guess it's more tailored at certain length, right? There are story arcs that you have to choose. And from there on, I guess, shit just happens.
But he made up for it shortly after by instantly domesticating every squirrel on the map to join my colony and eat my potatoes. Objectively, Randy is the best storyteller. He follows no set patterns and keeps you guessing and adapting your strategy, whereas Phoebe lulls you into a false sense of security, and Cassandra can go fuck herself. The game is quite innovative in the sense that each colonist has their own background, traits, and personality. This sounds good in theory. If you've worked in a special needs school before and have experience of tard wrangling, you'll find yourself right at home. Colonists can have traits ranging anywhere from being kind, hardworking, and having exceptional immunity to being neurotic, depressive, and being a hideously deformed mouth breather. Their backgrounds often mesh together with their
health, brain, Alzheimer's minor. Oh, this is some fucking torso stab scar, right arm scratch scar. This is some ridiculous thing. Look at that.
And being a hideously deformed mouth breather. Their backgrounds often mesh together with their traits and create an exceptionally volatile, unstable human being. These are quite diverse and colorful, and consist of both a childhood and an adulthood that forms the core of their character. There's probably so many fucking backgrounds that I've never even seen them all. You can have research scientists, medieval slaves, Japanese pop idols, PUBG players, and vat-grown sex slaves all living in the same colony. Or you can get a special snowflake who, due to their pampered childhood and traumatic adulthood, can do no useful work and sexually identifies as limestone. I recommend stripping these people nude, handing them some dog food, and sending them out to the wilderness. Don't worry, they'll be fine. Oh shit, she got captured.
Oh shit.
Food and sending.
Do you really want to ban his singleton minstrel? All credits will get the following thought. Okay. Collins is -3. Holy shit. I mean, this is like, this whole thing feels like, like how I also said that in Dwarf Fortress, right? But it kind of feels like that, like, Fallout Vault or something. What was that mobile game? Fallout Shelter, I guess, in which you can do that, I guess, keep the survivors in and I guess, let them out or whatever. This kind of feels like the Vault. You're going to banish them out. You're going to, bring them in.
Bring them out to the wilderness. Don't worry, they'll be fine. Oh shit, she got captured by pirates. Don't worry, Help is on the way. Characters interact with each other and may even love and hate the shit out of each other. An efficient colony needs a variety of skills and people to survive, as every person shines in different tasks and develops them at different rates according to how much they enjoy it. A digger seasoned in mining will feel right at home chipping away iron and exposing my colony to insect infestations, while the sickly 15-year-old boy I bought from a slave trader may not be the optimal person for crafting leather jackets, owing to the fact that I've replaced both his legs and hands with wooden stumps. And you can do that. Every body part can be replaced with prosthetic and bionic parts, because people tend to lose them, whether through a stray bullet or getting pecked out by an ostrich. Accidents happen. Rimworld has a fully functional body part and organ system for every living creature in the game. Parts can get damaged, scarred, burned, infected, and chopped right off. And that's about the gist of it for colonists. For the colony itself, you need to adapt to different environmental and physical threats as you slowly grow and expand. In between threats, you can even research new and additional technology, giving you access to equipment, resources, and structures that increase your self-sufficiency. You can also open up the world.
There is a, factorial thing I can see. Obviously, there is not many contraptions and factories that you can build here. But I guess a certain aspect of it feels very close to Factorio here, right? You can, I guess, the more and more threats going to rise, more and more defenses you have to create, right? Your colonies are going to be under threat constantly.
World map and send caravans to trade with friendly colonies, take missions and improve diplomatic relations. You can even start additional colonies.
Diplomatic relations. By gunfire is happening is a diplomatic relations, okay.
Flesh-eating turtles, build pod launchers, and fire a dozen super soldiers dressed in power armor straight into a colony and commit genocide. Rimworld 1.0 really has it all. Aside from handling food, energy, appropriate accommodations, and clothing, defense is probably your most important priority. No matter how well your colony is doing, an unexpected attack can decimate your entire base. Luckily, the AI is pretty predictable, and even the smarter AI patterns can be learned and manipulated. This leads to people constructing increasingly elaborate and sadistic...
I guess this game is from 2013, YouTube is telling me that. So is that Rimworld 2 in works or something like that? Because, Rimworld is also, I've heard people comment constantly, right, in many videos that Rimworld is fucking great, right? This is why, I remembered from somewhat what I reacted to first time I reacted to this video. So I remember thinking, oh, this is very similar to Dwarf Fortress, PlayStation 13, and I remember people praising it a lot. That's why I'm re-reacting to this, because I know this is a good game. So the AI and everything, maybe they can make improvements going forward, right, with the newer engines and newer technologies that is coming, right? This game is from 2013, I guess. Is there a new game in works or something? Because games like this should definitely constantly go on. I mean, I hope games like this, gets enough money, right? Enough sales. I don't know how good these games do. I'm pretty sure average gamer is not going to touch games like this. But I hope there are enough people, enough fan base that, the developers can make second game or something like that.
Kill boxes, labyrinthine trap mazes, Romanian corpse freezers, engineered cave-ins, and walk-in Holocaust ovens. Temperature dynamics work quite nicely in this game. So one of my favorite defensive strategies is to bait raiders into entering my base through a narrow, creeping tunnel of granite. As they manage to slowly crawl halfway through the tunnel, I quickly go all Edgar Allan Poe on them and seal the entrance behind them. Since we don't want our guests to get cold, I tell one of my colonists to start a nice roaring fire near the exit, using some conveniently placed furniture. We seal the door shut, and that's when they make the realization. The walls are covered in scratches. The tunnel heats to several hundred degrees Celsius. Clothing ignites, flesh fries, and skin melts off the bone. Each man will dig and claw at the walls in futile desperation, tearing their nails out while their organs boil. And then Randy will drop a...
Sinister as fuck. See, that part I remember from the first time I reacted to that, and that's what sold me on this game. Like, the mechanics is like, if you shut off the tunnels, right, the game engine mechanics will actually read like, okay, that tunnel is sealed, so all the smoke and all the heat is constantly gonna rise. There is an actual mechanic for that in game. Otherwise you think like, oh, they're just trapped and there's a fire there. Okay, so if they go close to the fire, they're gonna get burned. Otherwise they're just trapped there, they're just gonna stand there. No, there's an actual, realistic physics mechanic there. Like if you seal the tunnel, all the smoke and all raising temperature are probably gonna fuck them up. This is some sinister shit right here. Like, Seth actually thought of that. Okay, what if I close the tunnel and create a fire? He actually thought of it. It works. This is why a game like this is awesome. You can, use your creativity to see, is this gonna work? Yeah, probably.
Cargo pod containing milk. The best trait, of course, is psychopath. That's a bit of a segue, but I felt that I should talk about my current colony. I exclusively recruit psychopaths because they practice what I call moral relativism, and I practice what some would call an organ harvesting operation, which personally I find to be a very offensive and bigoted term to describe non-consensual organ arbitrage. Why do I do it? Because it's very profitable. A human in Rimworld can provide you with free healthy organs before they need to rest. One of his kidneys, one of his lungs, and a free choice between his liver or heart. My colony makes every attempt to grow smoothly and weed out undesirables who can't adapt to corporate culture. This one didn't dodge so well. At least he'll make a good sofa. It's amazing how quickly this game turns you into a monster. Surprisingly though.
That's first. That's not just some joke he's making. He literally made him into a fucking chair.
Good sofa.
I mean, obviously, I shouldn't be surprised by now, right? I mean, everything he says is fucking true. Probably you can do it in the game.
It's amazing.
Look at that. Human leather armchair. Excellent conditions. Quality excellent. What the fuck? This is like a serial killer's den. As soon as you enter, like, okay, this chair look, very similar to human skin color. What's happening there?
Amazing how quickly this game turns you into a monster. Surprisingly though, every faction loves me. Besides the raiders, even on the frontiers of civilization, you can't escape the unwashed horde of human rights activism. The soundtrack is pretty alright, but Tanan keeps asking me to buy it separately, together with his book. The graphics are pretty clean and simple, and have a certain charm to how minimalistic they are. It's very utilitarian in its appearance, but still very pleasant. To close off, Rimworld is very expansive with its content right now, and can easily consume hours and days of your life. It's very addictive, challenging, and frustrating. I simultaneously give my highest recommendation and a word of caution, since I genuinely believe my blood pressure and cortisol.
See, this is what I'm gonna say. All this, newer games, right? PUBGs and shit. That is, psychologists actually analyzed and came to conclusion this is literally addictive and it's not good for kids and whatever. If you're gonna play an addictive game, games like this should be the one, right? Factorio is addictive. This is addictive. This is addictive at a point like it will raise your creativity, right? It's good that it's addictive. Not just like how should I shoot this opponent more efficiently? Maybe I should buy this microtransaction sniper rifle. No, this is where your addiction should be about games. Like all the creative ways you can think it, that would just help grow somebody's brain, right? If a teenager play this, his brain is gonna just expand. Like all the creative ways he's gonna be more creative from now on.
All levels sharply rise when playing this game. It's fucking great. And there's always mods to fix all the broken shit. Go play it. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Get 2 psychic ships crashing in the middle of your base and never touch that retarded shit ever again. Oh, at least Randy sent me more milk. A warm thank you to the many members.
As a merchant. So yeah, this is the kind of game that, if kids are going to be addicted to some game, this is the type of game it should be. Because a teenager thinking, how should I kill this bandit? Should I trap him in some kind of a tunnel and burn it so they're cooked to death, and all the psychopathic serial killer thoughts that teenager might develop. That's just a side effect, but he would be creative. That's for damn sure. But this is the kind of game that people should play. Alright. Seriously, man, Seth is just fucking awesome. He should definitely play more games like this if he can find it. I hope there are many games like this because his creativity is so good, right? Every time he does something, it's just ridiculous. Alright, people. Wait a minute, there's something left, or it's just, oh no, it's just Merchant's Guild. My god, this is such a good game, right? I mean, lots of these things I missed in the first time because lots of things that Seth said, I just took it as a joke, like sarcastic joke. Like that chair thing. Definitely it's not a joke. Now Seth says something, I'm gonna take it literally, right? About the game, like you can do this in the game. No, that he's not being sarcastic. You can probably do it in the game because these games are ridiculous. Right, people, that was the Rimworld review, Deep Space Organ Harvesting. Yeah. This was the channel ssethtzeentach. If you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the reaction. There's a link in the description. Check out the cards, check out the ink cards, and yeah, I'll see you next time.